Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to prep our lips using this new Buxom lip plump shot serum, and we're getting those lips ready, priming the eyes per usual, and we're going to use the Bperfect Carnival XL Pro Remastered. Okay, so I'm going into the shade Reckless, and I'm taking that on the outer corner, really just tapping that into the crease. This look is a recreation from the queen, Stacey Marie. So I took her masterclass and it was so informative and just amazing to see how she does makeup. But I'm just diffusing those edges of Reckless, and now I'm going into the shade Slow Burn, and I'm just popping that on the inner crease area, I guess. So where that negative space is, I'm just going to start diffusing and packing on color, and I'm also using Slow Burn to diffuse the edges of Reckless, so it's giving a nice gradient and transition color. You just want to go and make sure that you don't lose any of the color. So now I'm going into the shade Keen, which is a beautiful yellow. So I'm just taking that on the inner and outer part of the eye, and it's creating almost like this bruised effect, but in the prettiest way. It's giving like sunset, and it reminds me of like a sangria. So now we are going into the shade Lights Out, and we are going to make this eye super smoky. Now you guys know I don't really go this deep, but Stacey Marie, her technique is to go really deep. So here I am packing on the black, and it is stunning. So now I'm just going back and making sure all the shades don't lose any color. So I'm just re-intensifying everything. So now I'm taking the NYX Glitter Primer. Honestly, you don't really need that, but I'm going into the shade Fortune and tapping that on the inner 1/3 of the lid. And it's really pretty. You just want to make sure you pack it on. Then I'm going into this beautiful purple shimmer called Temptation, and you just want to marry those two shimmers together. But to further diffuse the edges, I'm taking a little bit of Reckless and blending Temptation into like the crease. So now I'm taking the shade Slow Burn, re-intensifying that orange in the inner crease, and then I'm tapping a little bit onto the lid. That way it's a transition from gold to orange to purple. So now I'm popping on these lashes from Lash 7. Okay, this is in the style Extra. Use my code to save some money. So it's very smoky. Now I'm gonna go into the base, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this Glowish primer from Huda Beauty, and this primer is so bomb. It smooths out my pores so good, and it helps control my oils. If you guys were curious about my lower lash line, I just repeated the same colors that I did on top on the bottom. So as you can see, I have done half of my face with the primer so that you can see that my pores are pretty much gone, and you can see the difference. So now I'm just priming the other side, and you can see how my face is starting to blur and smooth out. So now I'm taking the e.l.f. color corrector, and honestly guys, I'm in love with this color corrector. It's literally the perfect shade of orange, and it's not too heavy. It's super lightweight, so I'm definitely really enjoying this color corrector. So for foundation, we are going full glam. So I'm taking the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte and the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Focus foundation. This was a little bit on the yellow side, but don't worry, I make this shade work. So now I'm just concealing. You want to be very careful, not get too close to the eye, but I want to make sure that I kind of sharpen, you know, where the eyeshadow is. So I'm getting close, but not, you know, too close. So I'm just going to diffuse that a little bit, add a little bit on my chin, of course. And now while that's sitting a little bit, I'm taking the Soul Body Bronzing Balm, and I love just how lightweight this cream bronzer is. It's so nice and buildable. It's really natural and it doesn't leave like harsh lines. It's easy to blend out and you don't have to do a lot of work. So I'm just making sure everything is nice and blended before I start blending out this concealer. So I always start from the chin and then I go a little bit above the upper lip, and now I'm going to start blending out that under eye area. And the good thing about this is that we already did the under eyes, so we don't need to get too close. So now I'm taking a little bit of a brighter concealer shade and I'm just going on the inner and outer part of the eye, really making sure I, sharpen up that shadow just to give that lifted effect. So I'm also going to add a little bit onto the nose because I want my nose to be snatched. And I forgot that I was supposed to add a little bit of concealer above my upper lip, so I just did that really quickly. And now I'm going to go ahead and start blending out this lighter shade, and as you can see, it is snatching me all the way. So now I'm taking the Danessa Myrics new cream blush and I'm going into the shade Golden Hour. Look at how stunning this blush is. So I didn't really know if I wanted to go peachy or pink, but Golden Hour literally was so perfect, and you can just see how pigmented this blush is, and I only used a little bit. Okay, so this is going to last a very long time. So I'm just doing the other side, and now I'm setting underneath the eyes using the One Size Turn Up the Base powder foundation, and it's very smoothing and it also gives me coverage because, like I said, we're going full glam for this look. So now to set the face, I'm taking the new NARS Perfecting pressed powder. Make sure you tap off that excess because this powder does give some color. So I'm only going to do one side of my face just so that you can see the color that it gives. And it is so smoothing as well. I don't know if it's just a combination of all these products, but my skin is looking flawless. So as you can see, having that tinted color definitely helped with this foundation color. So now I'm going into the Juvia's Place bronzer, mixing those two shades and just really tapping that bronzer back and forth. I didn't want anything too harsh, and it gave me like the perfect bronzy look. So now I'm taking that lighter bronzer shade and we're going to go ahead and snatch this nose together. I did not cream contour. I definitely forgot to, but that's okay. We don't always need to contour the nose like with a cream and powder. So I'm just going and snatching the nose with the powder. So now we're taking the Makeup Forever setting powder. This is in the shade Banana 2.0, and this is going to brighten you up and smooth you out. So I'm just using this to bake, and we're going to go ahead and clean up underneath the cheek just to give my face some shape and clean up where the bronzer is. And of course, I have to do the forehead and set these brows so that they don't become oily throughout the day. So now we are dusting all that powder away using our foundation powder brush. And then I'm taking that smaller brush and diffusing a little bit of that powder away from the eyes, but still leaving enough for the nose to bake. So now I'm going to just diffuse even further that lower lash line with the shade Slow Burn to give that nice gradient sultry effect. So now I'm taking a clean brush and just dusting away that bake around the nose. And for blush, I'm going into the Metamorphosis Blushing Bubbles palette. And I already did one side of blush, and now we're going to go ahead and dip into these shades. The names on here are so cute. But now I'm just packing on that blush. It's very pigmented, so be very careful not to pick up too much at once. But this is a small business brand. It's Latina owned, so, you know, show some support. So now I'm going to go ahead and line the lips using the Makeup Forever lip liner in Limitless Brown. Oh my God, I'm getting ahead of myself. So it is a beautiful, beautiful brown, and I'm just overlining my lips slightly and blending it together. So now I'm taking the Uoma Beauty lipstick. You know, I had to throw in some Black owned products. It is Black History Month, so I'm trying to make sure that I showcase as much of my Black owned products that I have. So now I'm going into the Danessa Myrics highlighting palette. This is the Lightwork 1, and we're going to go ahead and do the nose. I'm still trying to get a hang of this highlighter brush, but I love just how beautiful it diffuses the highlighter, and here I'm just applying it onto the cheek, and it's giving that glowy blush effect. So now I'm setting the face using the e.l.f. Microfine setting powder, and this is the final look, guys. It's giving Soul Snatcher, it's giving Walking Sangria. I'll see you guys in my next one.